Appreciate y'all coming. It was a disappointing loss once again. It was a game we thought if we played well we could win. It was really how the offense started that game. We took the ball and drove for a touchdown, and it was a very solid drive. And then we turn around, we have 4 drives that are 3 and outs. And then we go back with a solid drive and score our 14th point of the game. So we had 2 great drives in the first half. Second half, we had 5 really quality drives, and a quality drive is anytime we get first down, then we denote that as a quality drive. We had 5 of 7 quality drives in the second half, but we just didn't get the points. In the second half, we had the touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. But we were able to move the ball. I thought Tyler Staling, from start to finish, from his completion ratio, was one of the more solid games he had played in his decision making and taking care of the football. And there were some times early in that game where we were getting sacked, where I really thought he may lose it, and he was able to hang on to that football, but he made good decisions. Corey Klingler, who you all talked to a little bit, one of our offensive linemen, played one of his best games as far as his blocking and his assignment, and really he had a very dominating performance for us. Defensively, we just too many mistakes, too many big plays. Our biggest issue over there is depth right now. We're just beat up, had some new guys playing new positions, and they did the best they could do on a short week. Destry White, our weak safety, played a fine ball game, had 8 tackles, had a lot of production trying to get the secondary set up and get some of those new guys aligned right. So we were really pleased with how Destry played. In the front, Blaine Pageant was very solid, and Alex Lyons also played solid. We had to move Tabari McGaskey from strong safety to linebacker, which he played a year ago in this game, and he had a very solid game for us. He missed the third quarter with an injury, but came back in the fourth to finish the game. But we are too many big plays, and we've got to get those big plays eliminated. And our special teams, I thought Jack Fox really did a great job putting the ball with his kickoffs, and Tabola on his field goal. We'd had some issues in protection on the field goal that I thought the O-line really got solidified this week. Nobody likes to be in this position. We have some incredible young men who just continue to work hard. We got to go on the road to Charlotte, who has just had a big win over Southern Miss. They've beat Southern Miss and Marshall on the road this year. And, they're improving. Every week, Brad Lambert's done a nice job of getting them in position to compete. They got a great running game with that big running back, Khalif Phillips. Got great receivers, and defensively they have I'm going to mispronounce his name probably, Larry Ogunjubi, the defensive tackle, who's very disruptive and has started, he's a redshirt senior and has started 4 years in a row, and he's a great player for them. And they're solid defensively. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and like I said, they're on a little roll right now. They're 3-2 in conference, and we got to keep getting better. I think this week we're going to get Emmanuel Ellerby back. I think we're going to get Houston Robert back. I think we're going to get Azuma Okunabu back. I think DJ Green has been moved. DJ's missed most of the season, but he's been moved to probable, so he may see his first action of the year. And then Cole Thomas, who started for us at free safety and got hurt in the second, is probable. And Zach Wright, our wide receiver, is probable. He set out in the second half. And then starting corner JT Blassingame is still doubtful. He's in concussion protocol. Isaiah Edwards, the starting guard, is in concussion protocol. He is doubtful. Sam Stewart is doubtful, the running back. JT eBay, free safety, is still listed as doubtful. Parker Smith still listed as doubtful. Lance Wright still listed as doubtful. And Carl Thompson season is going to be done. He's going to have his shoulder operated on, and that's disappointing news. But, the young guys got to step up. That's where we are. And you know you don't win anywhere with a healthy club, and we just got to continue to coach them hard, continue to be upbeat, continue to stay together, and try to work through this. It's the only way to get through these hard times is to work and to stay together. And it's a tribute to these young men. That's what they've tried to do. They've come over here and absolutely given us their best every time they come into this facility or step on that field. Any questions? You know what? I'll let Corey Klingler tell you that. They changed some technique things that really worked to our benefit, but I think coming from one of the old linemen that did it, and the sacks, 3 of them, one of them was on the running backs, it wasn't on the offensive line, and the other 2 were O-line driven, and I'll let Corey tell you about what we changed from a technique there. Well, you know, in the offensive line, we've had 8 different starting lineups in the offensive line. It's just a year. We've had a hard time being consistent, and we've had a hard time staying healthy. You know, and those aren't two things that help you. And as coaches, you know, as players, like I said, we're all doing our best. You know, we've won 1 game this year. We're a better football team than that. And the only way through it, Adams, is to keep working. And as people, you know, last week a lot of the young men had never played positionally what we were asking them to play, because we're just having big depth issues right now. And it's hard sometimes for a young man to get all the route combinations, and so we continue to delete our menus on both sides of the ball, because it's not important what coaches know. We got to make sure those young men know it, and that's what we're trying to battle through some of that. We'd have 25 more guys practicing. That would help you a lot. We're down 14 for the season and 11 for this game right now. And, you know, in the defensive line, throughout our top 4 interior defensive linemen have had season-ending injuries. It's just one of those tragic years where the injury bug has bit us 2 years in a row. In 13, we didn't have anybody hurt. We had the same starting lineup in the O-line. In 15 and 16, last year was 8 different changes in the O-line, and right now this year it's 8. You know what, injuries, you work in the weight room to prevent injuries. Tragically, injuries are one of those things, if you could control them, there would be none in the NFL. You know, it's a contact sport, and people are going to get hurt, and we practice smart, we practice to try to be as injury-free as you can. Most of the injuries occur in the games, you know, not in practice. But, you know, you really do so much less contact now, and to prevent the concussions and to prevent, you know, the ACLs at practice. And, you know, you get those 3 scrimmages during 2-a-days that you take advantage of. It's just one of those, like in 13, well, you know, you don't get anybody hurt, and you win 10. And 8, we didn't have anybody hurt. In the last 2 years, we've just been in that cycle. And, you know, you got to cycle out of it. And there's some days you go out there at practice and think if we just stared at each other, somebody'd twist an ankle. You know, and that's just, we got to just keep working through it. And you know, in the off season, our trainers, athletic director, we all did a injury report. You know, every time we get injured, you know what period it was in practice. You know what drill you were doing. You know what cleat they were in. You know, and so you study injuries to try to prevent them, but that's something really you can't prevent. And you try desperately in the weight room. I mean, that's the number one purpose of a weight room, is to prevent injuries. Yeah, Austin, he averaged 5.4 yards a carry. Really proud of him. I think, you know, where I was most pleased with him in his pass protection of when we would slide protect, and he actually held up against number 11, who's a great player. You know, he's had tremendous runs, tremendous ball security. I really like how he's playing. He's got great hands. He catches the ball well when we throw it to him. Yeah, they're 3. Yeah, and you know I know reading, and Brad Lambert's done a fabulous job there. I've known Brad for a long time. I know he's got 19 fifth-year seniors that have been part of that program as they're building, and they've had some nice transfers come in there. And like I said, they've done a good job. They've got that big running back, Khalif Phillips, and they're solid. You know, they're not Defensively, they're not a high-risk defense, but they make you earn every yard that you get. So they're solid on both sides of the ball. I expect to just see the one that played in the Southern Miss game. We're still studying a whole lot of that, and their roles will increase, and a lot of it will be this week personnel. They'll each have packages that they'll work. Right, they need some reps for next season. That's what it is with Tyler being a senior, and they've got in have played well.